All right, today I would like to go through some home pages and look at SaaS company messaging as it is right now. We are in October 2025 in this video. And so I went to G2 and clicked around randomly and just pulled up a variety of pages of SaaS companies. So these are kind of at random, or as random as you can get from clicking around on G2. I just want to go to these different pages. I want to look at the messaging there, and I want to discuss with you what makes it good or bad or okay. Hopefully you will come away from this with some insights about how to message yourself and your company really effectively in a way that people can't copy, in a way that is in your voice and that you own, the company owns. So let's go ahead and look at some. First is Massive, MASSIVE.io. They shorten it to MASV. Massive is a service for sending large files remotely. If we go to their homepage right now, it says the best large file transfer platform. Now, I think that's pretty straightforward. I would definitely give that above a 5 out of 10. So it is on the better end of H1s for software companies because they are very direct with what they do. Could a competitor, could Dropbox, for example, take that line and use it as their own? Probably. I would say that a competitor could take that line because it just says we are the best, right? There's not a unique word there that makes it massive. I would lean even further into their brand already and use the word massive there for massive files. Massive file transfer fast. I would try to get there as quickly as I could. So I don't think this is a bad H1 for Massive. I think it's not unique to them, and it could be more unique to them, so it could still be improved and tweaked. But it's better than most SaaS H1s, so we'll look at a few others here. All right, next we have Monday.com. It was the first thing that I saw when I went to G2. Monday.com's H1 right now is one AI work platform for any kind of work. It's pretty nebulous and pretty meaningless and pretty out there, I would say. One AI work platform for any kind of work is also a mouthful. Let's read what they have right below their supporting copy. Plan and execute work across projects, sales, marketing, IT, and engineering with a unified AI-first product suite. They are packing a lot of information. They are packing a lot of jargon into these first messages that they show on their website. Plan and execute work across projects. That's a better H1 than one AI work platform for any kind of work. I mean, that just sounds like you've dropped something and it's fallen down the stairs. The noise of that H1. So Monday.com, for as much money as they spend and as big a company as they are, I have to say their H1 is like a 2 out of 10. It could use a lot of improvement. It's not the worst I've seen, but it's not the best by any stretch. Okay, let's pull up Toast. Toast, I believe, is a Canadian company. It is a POS system that helps you check out. Right now, their H1 is Toast powers the places people love. It's not horrible, right? It's interesting. They're attempting for it to be unique. But when I think of, I understand that Toast is a software and not a piece of toast, but the verb powers right after the word toast is so unfamiliar to us that I just don't know that it works. Even though they hit this alliteration and it is kind of memorable, powers the places people love. I don't know. It seems to distance itself a bit more than I would like. I don't know why it says people love instead of, you love or something. So I think if I was to try to keep the spirit of that, but rewrite it, I would write something like Toast in all your favorite places. Because it's associated with restaurants, I think we can use toast there in a way that we don't know if it's a noun or a verb. Because we can think of toasting, champagne, for example. And it's instead of places people love, it's your favorite places. So if I were to write the messaging for Toast, or I were to try to improve their H1 off the cuff here, just seeing it, I would put Toast in all your favorite places. I think that's better. We'll see what you guys think in the comments, I'm sure. All right, next, let's look at Airworks. Airworks.io. They have a rotating H1, which I'm not a huge fan of, but they seem to have several industries that they serve here. And I'm going to say this is an above average H1. Deliver more projects faster, but it's architecture projects, construction projects, utilities projects. These are the rotation of the words. So deliver more construction projects faster. We'll use that. I would say it's not unique to them, again, because a competitor could steal it tomorrow or use it tomorrow and it wouldn't feel out of place. But it is very direct and it is above average. It avoids some obvious pitfalls like jargon, and I think it's very straightforward. You get it pretty quickly. I don't like rotating H1s because they change their shape, and that changes where your eye starts to read the sentence. And so it just jumps around. The text jumps around too much for my liking. Personal preference, not a big deal. Let's give Airworks a 6 out of 10 because they are clearly above average, but I think this rotating H1 should show some commitment. Next, we are going to look at Domo, domo.com. Domo is a Utah SaaS company, I believe. Right now, Domo's H1 is the AI and data products platform. It's almost meaningless. I mean, I'm not trying to be tough. I used to live in Utah. I love Utah. And I hope Domo has great success. This is a rough H1. The first 4 words are the AI and data. I mean, if the ear's not tuned out by the second word, it is by the 4th word. Products platform, it doesn't deliver even when you have trudged through all that jargon. It's just not convincing. It's not moving me to do anything. It doesn't inform me of very much. So I would say it fails on a few fronts. I don't have a recommendation to try and fix an H1 like this. I think you start from scratch and you think about what you want to say to someone, ideally who's landing on your site for the first time. That's a serious consideration you should have when it comes to messaging on your website. You just need to do it from the most ignorant position possible, generally. So Domo, I don't mean to be rude, but this is what a 1 out of 10 looks like. It's pretty ugly. We're just going to keep moving. No offense. Love you guys. If you could use our help, here in Narrative Supply, please reach out to me directly. I will happily help you guys. Okay, next, payfactory.io. Payfactory's H1 is embed payments today, generate revenue tomorrow. It just falls on a trope, right? Do this today, tomorrow, today, tomorrow. Because we've heard it before, because it is a trope, because it is not owned and anyone could use it, I would say that is a pretty weak H1 overall. You do something today, you get revenue tomorrow. That's great. Nobody really owns that language, and it's so kind of banal that we've heard it before, and we kind of tune out a bit here. So not horrible, right? I would give that a 3 out of 10. If I were to try to tweak and improve this, I would just be more straightforward. Again, this is not something that PayFactory would own as an H1, or it wouldn't be exactly in their voice that I'm not sure that they have. I would just say embed payments in your software. That's what they're doing. They're supporting copy here on their right below their H1 is seamless and flexible embedded payment facilitation for ISVs and SaaS platforms. I would have to explore PayFactory and see what their voice is as a company before I gave a more unique recommendation. So this could be tweaked and improved and get above average, but fundamentally, I think PayFactory doesn't seem to have a clear voice that they announce themselves with, at least above the fold. Next, let's look at Rippling. Rippling is an HR software. Rippling has some unique colors, I would say, for a SaaS company. I quite like the mauve color with the yellow. The yellow is really punchy. It's almost that National Geographic yellow. And their H1 is employees get more done with Rippling. I hate to say it because this is a brand I quite like, but they don't seem to announce themselves with a clear voice here. Employees get more done. Okay. That's true of Trello. That's true of so many softwares. It just doesn't show any ownership or any unique voice for Rippling, who I think has, like I said, a pretty solid brand here. If I were to try to take a stab at Rippling here just on the fly, I might do something like rippling across your company or rippling throughout your company. I actually think I like across better. Rippling across your company. I want to know what that means, and I want to understand and read the next line. When you write fiction, one of the things they tell you is each sentence should earn the next sentence. The spirit of the lesson here is that you want your writing to be so good that the sentence you just wrote earns the reader's attention for the next sentence. So, employees get more done with rippling. I got to give that like a 2 out of 10 because it could just apply to almost anything. Rippling across your company, I like that much better. Rippling, reach out to me. We can improve this. Let's do this.